You might think you're a good person, but what if your morality isn't as solid as you believe? Have you ever wondered how you'd act if no one was watching, or whether you'd sacrifice one life to save many? Our minds are full of assumptions about ourselves, but sometimes it's only when we're faced with difficult choices that our true nature is revealed. Today, we're diving into 6 mind-bending thought experiments that will challenge everything you think you know about yourself. These scenarios aren't just theoretical, they hold up a mirror to our deepest values and ethical convictions. By the end of this video, you might see yourself in a whole new light. But before we start this journey of self-discovery, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content that makes you think deeper about life and yourself. Let's explore the hidden corners of our minds together. The Experience Machine. Imagine there's a machine that can give you any experience you desire, a life filled with endless pleasure, success, and happiness. Once you're plugged in, you won't know that it's not real. Everything will feel authentic. You could live out your wildest dreams, free from pain or disappointment. Would you choose to plug in and live this perfect life, even if it's all an illusion? This is philosopher Robert Nozick's Experience Machine thought experiment. It challenges us to consider what we truly value in life. Is it just happiness and pleasure, or is there more to existence, like authenticity, genuine relationships, and personal growth? If you decide not to plug in, it suggests that you value real experiences, no matter how flawed or challenging they might be. It means that the authenticity of living, with all its ups and downs, is more meaningful to you than a flawless illusion. But if you choose the machine, does that mean that happiness is your ultimate goal, regardless of reality? Are we justified in prioritizing our own pleasure above all else, even if it disconnects us from the real world? Ask yourself, what's more important, living a real life with genuine experiences, or experiencing perfect happiness in an artificial reality? This thought experiment forces us to confront our priorities and what we believe makes life truly worthwhile. The Ship of Theseus. Now, let's consider the paradox of the Ship of Theseus. Imagine a legendary ship that, over time, has all its wooden parts replaced one by one due to wear and tear. Eventually, none of the original components remain. Is it still the same ship? Taking it a step further, suppose someone collected all the original discarded parts and reassembled them into a ship. Now, we have 2 ships, the one sailing with replaced parts and the one reconstructed from the originals. Which one is the true Ship of Theseus? Apply this paradox to yourself. Over the years, every cell in your body regenerates. Your beliefs evolve, your memories fade and new ones form. Your personality may shift due to experiences. Are you still the same person you were 10 years ago? This thought experiment questions the very nature of identity and continuity. If everything about us changes over time, what makes us who we are? Is our identity tied to our physical body, our memories, our consciousness, or something else entirely? Reflect on this. What defines your identity, and how does change affect who you are? Is there a core essence that remains constant? Or are we in a constant state of becoming someone new? Understanding this can have profound implications on how we view personal growth, relationships, and responsibility for past actions. The trolley problem. Next up is the classic trolley problem, a moral dilemma that has perplexed philosophers for decades. A runaway trolley is barreling down the tracks toward 5 unsuspecting people who will be killed if nothing is done. You stand next to a lever that can divert the trolley onto another track where only one person is tied up. Do you pull the lever, sacrificing 1 life to save 5? Most people say yes, favoring the utilitarian approach of maximizing overall good by saving more lives. But what if the scenario changes? Imagine you're on a footbridge above the tracks, and the only way to stop the trolley is to push a large man off the bridge onto the tracks below. His substantial body weight would stop the trolley, but he would die in the process. Do you push him to save the 5 others? Suddenly, many hesitate. Why is it acceptable to pull a lever, but not to physically push someone to their death? This dilemma exposes the conflict between utilitarian ethics, the ends justify the means, and deontological ethics, the morality of actions themselves, regardless of the outcome. Consider this. What would you do in each scenario, and what does that say about your moral principles? Is there a moral difference between indirect and direct action, even if the outcomes are the same? This thought experiment challenges us to examine the consistency of our ethical reasoning and whether emotions influence our judgments more than we realize. The Drowning Child. Philosopher Peter Singer presents a compelling moral question. You're walking past a shallow pond and see a child drowning. Saving them would ruin your expensive shoes and make you late for an important appointment. Do you wade in and save the child? Most of us would act without hesitation, valuing a human life over material possessions or personal inconvenience. But now consider this. There are children dying around the world from preventable diseases. By donating the cost of those shoes, or even less, you could save a life. Yet many of us don't. Why do we feel a stronger obligation to help someone right in front of us than someone far away? This thought experiment challenges us to examine our moral responsibilities beyond our immediate surroundings. Does physical distance diminish our ethical obligations? Is there a difference between a life we can see and one we cannot? Ask yourself, are we consistent in our compassion, and what prevents us from helping those we can't see? Is it out of sight, out of mind, or do we rationalize our inaction due to perceived obstacles or skepticism about the impact of our help? Understanding this can lead us to reevaluate our charitable actions and consider how we can make a difference in the lives of others, regardless of distance. The Ring of Gyges. In Plato's tale of the Ring of Gyges, a shepherd discovers a ring that grants him the power of invisibility. With this newfound ability, he commits acts he would never consider if he could be seen: seduction, theft, even murder, to gain power and wealth. If you had such a ring, would you still act morally? This scenario questions whether morality is inherent or if it's maintained only because of societal consequences and the fear of being caught. Do we do good because it's right, or because we're afraid of punishment and judgment? Reflect on this. Without the fear of consequences, would your actions change? What does that reveal about your true nature? It's a profound inquiry into the integrity of our character. If the only thing stopping us from doing wrong is the potential for repercussions, then is our morality genuine? Or is it simply a facade maintained for social acceptance? This thought experiment encourages us to examine the authenticity of our ethical beliefs and whether we hold ourselves to moral standards even when no one is watching. The Omelas Dilemma. Finally, imagine a utopian city called Omelas, where everyone lives in peace, prosperity, and happiness. There's music, art, joy, and contentment in every aspect of life. However, this perfection has a dark secret. The city's prosperity depends entirely on the perpetual misery of a single child who is kept in filth, darkness, and neglect. The citizens are aware of this, but accept it as a necessary evil. Would you choose to live in Omelas, enjoying the benefits at the expense of one suffering child? Or would you walk away, rejecting the society's moral compromise, even if it means giving up your own happiness? This thought experiment, inspired by Ursula K. Le Guin's short story, The Ones Who Walk Away from Omelas, forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about our own societies. Are we complicit in injustices that benefit us? Consider how modern conveniences and luxuries often come at the expense of exploited labor, environmental degradation, or social inequalities. What ethical compromises are we willing to accept for our own comfort, and where do we draw the line? Think deeply. Is sacrificing one for the happiness of many ever justifiable? And if we accept such compromises, what does that say about our collective morality? This dilemma challenges us to consider the cost of our happiness and whether true utopia can exist without universal justice. These thought experiments are more than just philosophical puzzles. They're mirrors reflecting our deepest values, moral convictions, and the complexities of human nature. They challenge us to confront the discrepancies between who we think we are and how we might actually behave in difficult situations. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your responses in the comments below. Let's engage in a meaningful discussion about morality, ethics, and self-awareness. Your perspective might help others see things in a new light. If you found this video thought-provoking, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content that challenges the way you think. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next deep dive into the fascinating world of philosophy and self-discovery.